Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hi, we are from Group 1. Let me introduce my group members. I am Fadlin Afina Binti Suhaimi. The second one is Siti Zulaikha Binti Shukeri, Rishma Ganisswary anak perempuan Krishnan, Sangeeta anak perempuan Gunasilen, and the last one is Mohamad Syahmi bin Mohamad Salihin.
Hi, I'm Sangeeta Gunasilen. Today I'm going to present the introduction of this survey. Stress is broadly defined as a reaction to too much of pressure and too many demands. It can arise both at home and workplace. However, there is no question that stress in the workplace is a major issue for both individuals and organizations. Unchecked, it can lead to both physical and mental problems for individuals and significant losses for organizations through sickness and absence. In many countries, employers have a legal responsibility to recognize and deal with the stress in workplace. Whether or not this applies, however, it is important to tackle the causes of stress in the workplace to avoid the problem for individuals, teams, and organizations as a whole. Managing stress in the workplace is therefore an essential part for both of individual and corporate responsibility. This survey is directed to identify the stress and workload of the workers in Sapura Energy Berhad, which have a high reputation among the oil and gas industry, and the effect of the problem and the proper way to prevent these issues. Oil and gas industry workers appear to suffer from anxiety and depression more frequently than the general population. Most oil company workers in our study, regardless of whether they work in our office, laboratory, or oil field, believed that they were pronouncedly exposed to stress. Over three-quarters of all subjects believed their job was stressful, but the perception of specific stresses depended on the workplace. Objective to conduct this survey is to know about what kind of workload and stress faced by the workers in Sapura Energy Berhad and the symptom of caused by the heavy workload and stress. In another end, we also find out the ways handled by the workers to prevent or to cure from this problem.
Hi, my name is Rishma Ganisswary, Doctor of Krishnan, and today I'm going to present about methodology. Methodology is a research process. It means it covers ways, method that we use to achieve objective or goals. It also more systematic to focus to achieve the goals. Okay, the side one I have list 1 to 8 the study process of the flowchart. The first one is early study, and it's to identify the study material, the problem of the study material, and to identify the sampling that we can use for this study. Okay, and the second one is to prepare questionnaire form for this study. And the questionnaire form is about stress as workload in oil and gas industry. And the third one is we search and we find participant for interview, and we conduct an interview, and we observe, and then we observe all the details that we have collect, and then we will collect all the data and analyze and make a decision and summarize it so that we can know either we are achieving the goals or objective that we want. Okay, the next slide, I'll be presenting about research design. We have chosen two types or two methods of research design. One of it is qualitative and one more one is quantitative. We have chosen these two forms because we want to know more and understand this study, and we want to gather more information about the study, and we want to so that we can achieve the objective of this study. Okay, I'm going to present about the third slide, that is research instrument. So we have two types of research instrument. The first one is questionnaire form, and the second one is conduct an interview. Okay, the questionnaire form that we have chosen is using a Google form, because in this situation we are having a COVID, we use the technology of Google Form that has in this present era that already is become a famous instrument to do a survey or to do a questionnaire form. Then the second one we have conduct interview, and this interview we have done with Sapura Energy Berhad is located in Perak. We conducted with five workers from that company, and we want to gather the information about stress and workload that they are having, and how they prevent, how's the symptom, how they feel the stress. And we also gather a lot of information from them for this purpose of this case, for the purpose of our study research. Okay, the third one is about data collection procedure. We have chosen two instruments and to collect the data to know whether we are achieving the goals or objective of the study. Okay, the first one is questionnaire. We have used the medium of Google Form to create questions, and we have blast this questionnaire, this Google Form, using the medium of WhatsApp to all oil and gas industry workers to gather the information whether the study that we have done is achieving our goals. And this questionnaire have the question and answer option, and also we have the form of giving option, and we have received 31 respondents from this questionnaire. Okay, the second one is about interview. We have conducted an interview using the medium of Google Meet and WhatsApp to contact with them. And this interview we have conducted with 5 employees of Sapura Energy oil and gas industry, and the question we have prepared is all based on stress and workload that they having, or the stress and workload that how they feel, how they prevent the stress, how they know the symptom. And we have gathered all the information using this interview to know how the industry, how in they're working in their industry, how they handle the stress, and how they handle this workload during the working days. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Siti Zulaikha binti Shukeri. I will present about our result and discussion. So in this part, we make analysis using a two method, which is Google Form and interview session. So let me introduce about our Google Form part. So for part A is personal information. Part B, factor workload and stress. Part C, symptom and effect workload and stress. And the last part is preventative method. So the second method is interview session will be present by my friend Fadlin Afina. So let's go to the next slide. So I will present about the Google Form result and discussion. So I will continue in our result in part A, which is personal information detail of worker in oil and gas industry. So we will obtain 31 respondents from 7 females and 24 males, age among 23 years to 54 years. So our respondent religion is from 29 Malays and 2 Indian, which is our interview. So overall respondent is work in the Sapura company and also in the different oil and gas
company and held a different job title. So next, I will continue to part B, which is our question. So this is a multiple choice question, and also we also give an opportunity to respond to state other factor in this question. So for analysis relate to factor due to workload and stress in oil and gas industry. So the results show that the highest frequency show that the factor which is long working hour which is 64.5%, and then lack time spending with family, and also relationship with another employee. Okay, we still continue in part B, which is the result of respondent state that the factor due workload and stress will increase stress level and increasing other effect. And in this question, the respondent 100% agree about it. And the duration of job stress show that the highest frequency for more than 6 months, respondent face the job stress. And next, the level of job stress show that the highest frequency for moderate level, which is the medium stress level. Okay, next we continue to part C, which is symptom and effect, workload and stress. Part C is related to our objective, which is to identify the symptom caused by heavy workload and stress. So we divided to the 3 symptoms, which is physical, physiological, behavior. So the higher frequency for physical, which is proton fatigue, muscular tension, and also frequent headache. So the physiological symptom, which is depression, discouragement, reduced ability to concentrate, and also oversensitive. So the last symptom is behavioral, which is mood swing and drop in job performance. So we still in part C. So in this question, we just want to know that the respondent ever faced or been in hazard or accident in workplace and effect to workload and stress after the hazard or accident. So the results show that some of respondents state yes for face or been in hazard or accident in workplace and effect to workload and stress after the hazard or accident. So next, some of respondents show that their company provided the safety and health policy, and the respondent also state the safety and health policy give the effectiveness of safety and health policy towards workload. So this is the last part in our Google form, which is part D, preventative method. So part D is relate to our objective, which is to recognize the prevention way to stress at work by the worker. So this is a few response from our respondent, how they prevent and relieve their stress and workload. So the first one is telling a problem to someone, such as they state that they're telling a problem to love, to family, friends, and so on. So the second one, they get a healthy life and work-life balance, such as they also work out and eat healthy food. So the third one is get a teamwork at a workplace. So next, they do a fun activity such as watch a movie, playing something, and the last one is make a schedule and priority listing.
Hi, my name is Afina Binti Suhaimi. I will continue to the interview section. There were 5 persons selected as a respondent to be interviewed in this survey. All these respondents are employees in the oil and gas industry that from company Sapura Energy Berhad based in Perak. The first one is Fawahim Harun as a grinder. He has been working in 4 years. Mr. Karan Raj as a project coordinator and worked in 3 years. The third one is Mr. Kantan Krishnan as a welder for 5 years. Next, Mohamad Izar Farhan as the assistant engineer for 2 years. And the last one is Azrai Fazli Sham as a welder for 3 years. The first thing that been carried out is related to the causes of factor of workload and stress in oil and gas industry. The question asked to the respondent is found like this. What are the workplace and stress factor you have faced in the oil and gas industry from the beginning of your services until now? Tell us. The answer that we get from the respondent is, the first one is working shift. The second one is co-worker neglect job. The third one is weather too hot, need to walk a long way to get to the cafeteria, rarely meet the family members, too much work need to be complete in a short period of time. 3 over 5 of the respondents saying that weather too hot are the mostly factor that cause stress in their work. For your information, they cannot cook in their hostel, but only can get the food from the cafeteria that is quite far from the hostel. This could make them stressed. Let's continue to the symptom of workload and stress in the oil and gas industry. The question asked to the respondent is sound like this. What are the symptoms do you experience during workload and stress in this industry? The answer that has been given to us is, the first one is sleep disorder, then migraine or headache, muscular tension, breathing difficulties, loss of spirit, too exhausted or oversensitive. When working shift, worker will experience irregular sleep problems that can cause them to lose focus in their job. The weather too hot could make them feel migraine or headache and also loss of the spirit. When employer have to complete a lot of work in a short period of time and they force themselves, they can feel very tired and they will be oversensitive to anything in their surrounding. Indeed, ample rest is necessary for those who are too exhausted. Next, the way to prevent workload and stress in oil and gas industry. The question asked to the respondent is sound like this. How do you deal with stress and workload in your workplace? The answer given to us is, the first one is talk to the trusted person or employer representative. The second one is focus on our own job scope. The third one is be a good colleague and willing to cooperate. The fourth one is carry out hobbies. Believe it or not, when we share problem with the trusted person or employee representative, in fact, that is the solution to the stress problem that we experience. Respondent also said the company provide counseling service for all the employees. It is a good effort to cope the stress and workload of the employer. When we simplify the problem of other person, our journey will also be simplified. Therefore, respondent give their opinion that they need to be a good employer and work with the colleague so that their affairs will be simplified also.
Hello, Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to everyone. My name is Muhammad Syahmi bin Muhammad Salihin. I'm from group number 1. So today I want to presenting about the recommendation of preventing stress and workload at the workplace. Alright, okay, next. We are moving to our next slide. So, first of all, we all know that the offshore environment is potentially stressful because the workforce lives and works in one limited edition and location for large periods of time without breaks. So, various of these types of hazard duties are carried out in confined spaces and in environments that have the potential for incidents. So, those factors combine to make the task a challenge, but can also create potential and also create optimal stress by produce a situation that have implications for offshore safety, productivity and performance. Okay everyone, okay now we move to the next slide. So this slide will show us the recommendation of preventing the stress and workload in the workplace. Okay, the next thing is the list of recommendation to preventing the stress. So there are some broad ideas that can be applied to prevention of stress. So here is the list. At first we has encourage workplace wellness, which means exercise and healthy living are two of our best weapons against workplace stress. Exercise takes employees' mind off the stress of their job to focus on the task at hand. It also improves moods by increasing the production of endorphin, the brain's feel-good neurotransmitters. The second is revamp the habitats. So, update the office with an upbeat color scheme, additional plants or new silverware. If we have the space, think about adding a ping pong or football table to allow employees to take their mind off of their stress for a few minutes. Any changes that increase employee enjoyment will leave them feel less stressed. So next one is number third is allow for flexible hours and remote working. So this means to allow the employees to work remotely and give flexibility for start and end times. This freedom is great for office morale, and the policy shows employees that you trust them enough to not to babysit. The fourth is encourage social activity. As a co-workers, to know each other, expectation and communications barriers are broken down, greasing the wheels for easier future interaction. And next is number 5, create quiet time. So a small room, lounge space at the end of the hall, and even outdoor bench can be perfect places to find refuge from the chaos of the daily grind. Think about longer retreat style vacation which can serve the same purpose. The next one is to provide on-site or distance counseling. So this is a strategy which in or out of the office, in group setting or individual, that it can help employees to prepare for what stress will come their way. And lastly is recognize your employees. However, we choose to recognize our employee will appreciate that they are aware of their success and want to share it with others. So this can make them happier and more comfortable, in turn lowering their stress level. Okay, now we go to our final slide of the presentation today, which is the conclusion. So finally, is now to conclude the workload and stress in the workplace, especially oil and gas industries. So most oil and gas company workers, regardless of whether they work in the office, laboratory, and oil field, believe that they were exposed to stress. So the benefit of conducting stress surveys increase our understanding of individuals' vulnerabilities or risks, so that effective workers and effective workforce development programs can be implemented. This means that a stress control program will be more effective if resources are targeted at specific problems and aim at the elimination of stress sources. Okay, alright, and that's all from me as the last presenter today, and I hope to see you soon, and thank you. Assalamualaikum.